Hello and welcome to the final edition of Big Finish Fans 2015. As you can see, Tom is necking down a shot in celebration. So we're just basically covering the stuff we've enjoyed over the year and looking into the future. And because this is sort of our year anniversary, we're going to be looking at the targets we set at the beginning of the year and whether we've achieved them. And we've got a little competition thing, not for you guys to win, for us to do shizzle about. So
I'm not giving you anything.
Sorry, you have no audios.
we can't afford it, we're poor.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we buy about 166 big finishes, because we're poor.
It's true, we've got to think of our own collections.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom, take it away. Lung Barrow Boy.
Number. Just an introduction, a hello.
Yeah.
Alright. Hello, everyone. Final installment. It's great to be on the final installment for 2015 of Big Finish Fans.
Hello, Caserpus the Fibster here, and well, I can't believe I haven't managed to get rid of you guys yet. I've been stuck with you for a year now. I'll just stay with you weirdos for a bit. So, to 2016.
Hello, I'm J.Ockham Reviews. I was the miserable one on the Halloween hangout, and I'm actually glad to be here because it feels like I'm rising through the ranks.
Rising through the ranks of Big Finish.
Because
Yes.
you've killed all the others.
Oh, you slaughtered everyone else, and here you are.
That's why Luke's not here.
Yeah, he's killed Luke. He's Luke's replacement now. So there we are. The new Luke.
You're watching Soz, mate.
So we're not going to actually talk about the news what Big Finish have announced because that's boring. So let's look at the best news what we received in 2015. Obviously, we're probably all going to say the same thing, but for variety, we've thought
Terrorhawks.
different. Yeah, Terrorhawks is the best.
Way to ruin the mood.
That killed us. So Tom, what's your favourite bit of news?
Well, yeah, of course, John Hurt's been amazing. He has his own box set. We have 3 more other ones coming up as well. But my great news is Jacob and Lightfoot Series 11, of course. And if you've listened to Series 10...
Tom. Not for long, Tom.
Oh.
Not for long. I'm going to be crispy-fied.
No, shut up. Anyway, you listen to Series 10 has a fantastic cliffhanger and really just set up Series 11, and it's going to be interesting how it plays out, what villain was uncovered in Series 10 and coming to Series 11. So that's my biggest news. It's Jacob and Lightfoot Series 11. As I said, John Hurt. Any other news? Yeah, that's my biggest news is John Hurt and Jacob and Lightfoot Series 11. Of course, I knew it was going to happen anyway.
Well, I don't blame Tom for saying Jacob and Lightfoot Series 11, because obviously the return of the Bandrels is just amazing, and obviously having them in Jacob and Lightfoot is probably just the biggest coup that Big Finish could ever have. So yeah. But in terms of my big news, obviously the biggest news of the year is the fact that Big Finish got the license to do new series stuff, so that's obviously opened up a lot of doors to different ranges, and obviously bringing all the new series doctors in. So that obviously branches off into, as Tom said, the War Doctor, and obviously David Tennant and Catherine Tate coming in. Probably two of the best ones to come back for nostalgia reasons, especially for us. And obviously branching off into different spin-offs like River Song, Jago Lightfoot and Strax, and hopefully 2016 will announce a lot more to come. So I'm very optimistic for this news.
I'm not going to talk about new series just for the sake of variety, but truly one of my favourite things about this year has been the amount of novel adaptations that have been announced. And we've got Nightshade, Original Sin, and a secret one for December next year that's going to be $16.99, which there's a lot of speculation about what that's going to be. You know, Original Sin has possibly the strangest choice of villain ever, and Nightshade is sort of a prequel to Love and War, the very first novel adaptation. So I'm just really excited for them and can't wait to get them all.
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, novel adaptations are quite exciting, so we had 2 exciting ones this year. But my favourite bit of news is obviously the third Doctor Adventures, bringing Pertwee back onto audio, because he is the Doctor with the least amount of audio, which is rather sad. And that is the best bit of news for me. But I suppose the best bit of news really is John Hurt, but for variety, it's John. Another John.
Need more Pertwee.
Yeah,
Third
need
Doctor
more.
and Cyberman for Volume 2, come on.
Oh, if they do Cyberman 2 reprint, that will make 2016 a good year.
Oh, I meant the Third Doctor with the Cyberman.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant Cyberman 2. I was like, yeah, that'll
I
be
mean,
good.
that is good news as well, but no. Third Doctor and Cyberman, you can't say no to that.
And they're definitely getting rid of the narration in the second box set as well, so you just have Tim Treloar, not the narrator.
That would work a lot better for the box set itself.
It will.
Right, should we move on to the next bit?
Rightio.
Now, some of you guys haven't got the 2015 monthly range audios, but for the sake of talking and being polite and stuff, what was the audio what intrigued you the most of that year? And people who actually got the audios, what was your favourite from 2015? So, Tom, take it away.
Alright, my favourite by quite a load of miles, it is We Are the Daleks, good old Jonathan Morris after the Locum Doctors trilogy and all those arcs. Now things are calming down, and we have the brilliant We Are the Daleks. I would say it's a great starting point with Big Finish. It's very accessible, it's an easy and fun story to listen to. The Daleks are fantastic, like how the Daleks sly, really deceitful, and it's really like that with episode 1 of them taking over the economy. It works very well. We have this new game in development. I can't remember what.
Warfleet, wasn't it?
A Warfleet, yeah, that's what it's called. In development and how that plays in the story. It's very fun. Mel, get it for Mel because Mel's is fantastic in Big Finish, and you know she takes her computer side in this trilogy, not just with the Dice, but also the Warehouse, which I also recommend as well. That's another one of the stronger monthly range stories as well. Not really Tellus on Tyrants, that was a bit of a flop, really. I would say another honourable mention would be Criss Cross by Matt Fitton, very well researched, set in World War II, turn-in tests. And it's just incredible. Matt Fitton did absolutely brilliant with that one. And even though I don't have it yet, I'm just intrigued about it. Is You and the Doctor with Decide Your Destiny. So I'm interested in how that's going to play out. But yeah, still I don't have it yet. Still waiting for it to arrive. Yeah, my favourite audio monthly range is We Are the Daleks by a long shot. 10 out of 10 I rate it.
Well, for me, I haven't picked up any of the monthly range ones this year. None of them really kind of drew my attention in way too much. The one that really got the closest to drawing my attention to, or the one that's actually drawn my attention a lot more with hindsight, is The Secret History, which is the end of the Locum Doctors trilogy. Because I'm interested in the fact that what happens when you kind of transplant Peter Davison into a William Hartnell story, how he interacts with Vicky and Stephen, who I think are quite underrated companions. And I just like the idea of the setting as well. So I thought, if anything, that was the one that tempted me the most. And obviously, when I discovered who the villain was, I like that villain, so we discovered exactly how that would all fit together. So, if anything, that would tempt me the most compared to the other ones of 2015.
Like Kai, I haven't got any of the monthly ranges this year, to be honest. I've not really found anything gripping other than there's been hidden gems like Criss Cross, We Are the Daleks, but I don't know, I'm just not really that bothered about them. I don't really like the concept of We Are the Daleks. Maybe in the future I'll go try it, but right now I'm backtracking with some of the older stuff. But I would say the one that has intrigued me the most is You Are the Doctor. I remember reading the Decide Your Destiny books as a kid, and you know, the first short trip in that is supposed to be like Decide Your Destiny. So yeah, I'm up for that. I reckon that looks really cool.
Now, for me, I'm sort of torn between 4. We Are the Daleks because it's just a cracking story, and Mel's great in it, and the cliffhangers and having McCoy and the Emperor Dalek is just a treat. Criss Cross because Constance and Colin, and it's sort of 2 stories. I like that. You know, part 1 and 2 are very different to 3 and 4. And then the E-Space trilogy, Equilibrium, the story I wasn't exactly looking forward to. I was surprised by it. I absolutely loved that story. I love the musical score of it, and the Entry Plague, because it's such a bleak story by Jonathan Morris, and obviously it sort of rounds up Nissa's arc brilliantly. So yeah, I'd say Entry Plague just for that, and the Sandmen are quite creepy within it. Going on to another thing, the 4th Doctor, again, favourite story or the one what intrigued you the most?
Right, my favourite, quite controversial, is Return to Telos. I'm a little bit unsure with the hate on Return to Telos because I think it's just a truly fantastic Fourth Doctor story, and it ends season 4 almost perfectly. It does. Part 1 is unbelievably good, so action packed, and the 60s Cybermen are absolutely wonderful. Hearing their voices again, it's brilliant, and how, well, it's actually not really a spoiler, but how they really, with the Krelos scenes of them invading Krelos is really good, and the Fourth Doctor says it's Armageddon for the planet, and he can't save Krelos. It feels really bleak, and the Doctor cannot actually save Krelos, so that works very well. In part 2, it's really where Tomb of the Cyberman and Return to Telos like intertwine with each other. Doesn't mess up Tomb of the Cybermen in any way. I quite like that. Unfortunately, the Second Doctor and the Fourth Doctor don't meet. You don't really get that. Well, we sort of get that, like, literally, but they don't really interact with each other, unfortunately. But I'm not really too bothered about that. And a nice ending scene with Leela as well. The Fourth Doctor and Leela really feels like their relationship is really strong. I've got another one as well. I would give the talk about Requiem for the Rocket Man. That was one that turned out very well by John Dorney. And The Darkness of Glass as well. Good old Hinchcliffe horror reminds me of Horror Fan Rock, my first Doctor Who story, and like Talons of Wayne-Shine characters, and then Horror Fan Rock atmosphere. It's wonderful. Demon just needed a bit more about him. It's just a casual demon. We don't know any like back history or anything on the demon, so that was quite unfortunate. Still, how it like goes into the shadows and hunts and kills, it's very fantastic and works perfectly. I'll say the one, when season 4 came out, the one I was most looking forward to was The Darkness of Glass, which was tremendous. And then Cloisters of Terror by Jonathan Morris, which sadly for me turned out underwhelming. But still, Jonathan Morris, he never does bad ever. It's still a great story, but not Jonathan Morris level like We Are the Daleks. Part 1 is perfect. Creepy with the nuns, 3 nuns, and how they hunt these characters. Like, you see the nuns, and that's the last thing you see until you're taken out of time. That works very well. But then part 2 gets a little bit all sci-fi, and I don't think it works very well. It takes all the Hammer horror and the scare factor of it, the fear factor, and then just diminishes it. So that's why I find Cloisters rather underwhelming. But yeah, to close off, Return to Telos is my favourite out of season 4, with close The Darkness of Glass, close, and Requiem for the Rocket Man. But yeah, Return to Telos is the best with a 9 out of 10.
So yeah, for me, again, I didn't pick up any of the Fourth Doctor range for this year. I haven't picked up many Fourth Doctor ones. That's really something I should probably do more, pick up some more Tom Baker audios. But the one that's intrigued me the most from this set, really, again from hindsight, is Requiem for the Rocket Men. Mainly because it's written by the brilliant John Dorney, who's written some fantastic scripts for Big Finish, mainly for the Eighth Doctor Born Again. But because I like the idea of this whole of Tom Baker and Leela kind of meeting the Rocket Men, being like kind of outer space opera, action-packed adventure, and also throwing in Geoffrey Beevers as the kind of sultry voice of the Master. So all that mixed together does sound like a very intriguing story that I might be tempted to pick up in the future. But it's just really, that seems to be the most attractive story in that collection of stories for me, I'd say.
Yeah, I'm all with Kai there. I didn't pick up any. I picked up novel adaptations too, though, so that counts. But yeah, the Fourth Doctor range, again, there wasn't that many things. But yeah, Requiem for the Rocket Men, I would say, I really want to pick up, because I remember reading the Vortex article on it, and I thought the Vortex article sounded really, really interesting. So it is one of the more appealing looking audios. Just something I want to point out, I'm not really a fan of the covers for them this year, because I think they've been a bit lazy. The Exelons have not been a fan of that, and Fate of Krelos, Tom Baker's looking very flamboyant on there. Quite a strange cover as well. But Requiem for the Rocket Man, I think that cover's incredibly done. I thought of the Master, in that sort of environment. I think that would be quite interesting. But the sequel Deathmatch I've heard's not that good. Cover's a bit naff because the Master looks a bit like a Sith Lord on it. So yeah, I've heard very mixed things about it. So I'm going to be very pick and choose from this range.
Tom Baker looks like an Egyptian in the Fate of Krelos. Walk like an Egyptian. Have a bit of a dance.
He looks like a back dancer at a Queen concert.
Is he having a dance? Does he actually dance in the audio?
No, he's far from dancing. He's fishing. He's fishing. And that's actually he gets fish on Kralos doing that. But to me, Series 4 has been quite a consistent series because this is the first sort of series I've subscribed to. The Fourth Doctor Adventure. I mean, there's two duds for me. Obviously, Suburban Hell and Deathmatch was sort of underwhelming, I suppose, after the brilliant Requiem. But like Tom said, Telos, I think there's something so good about having the Fourth Doctor and the 60s Cybermen in one audio. It just seems a bizarre thing. And I hope they do the Leela and Jamie sort of sequel. It'd be great to have, because I think those two companions will obviously get on very well. Yeah, in many ways they will get on many things. But I think that's why I'm excited about the ISOS network as well, because of 60s Cybermen, because I love the 60s Cybermen. So I just think having, one of the definitive Doctors and the best era of Cybermen were great, and having them smashing through walls, they're really a force to be reckoned with. And obviously it sort of slots in between a fan favourite story, Tomb of the Cybermen, and it does interfere with that, so it's quite nice if you watch Tomb, have a break, and listen to Return to Telos. It's quite nice because you get more enjoyment. It's like the first Doctor Companion Chronicles with the locked room. You watch 10th Planet up until part 2, then you have the Hartnell adventure, then you go on to part 3 and 4 because that sort of explains where Hartnell was in part 3. But it's not a spoiler because it's on TARDIS Wiki.
Yeah,
Yay!
that's where I read it.
TARDIS Wiki.
Good old TARDIS
TARDIS Wiki. Honourable mention, got to be Darkness of Glass, because I love the whole isolation and the shadows. And Leela gets a bit more to do because she was very redundant in the Exilons, and that should have been her story with this tribal race. So it was great to see Leela actually used well within that release. So now we can go on to much diverseness and talk about standout releases. So Jago and Lightfoot, Dorian Gray. I think we had the World's a Big Finish this year, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't have it.
Yeah. So take it away with standout releases.
Oh, standout releases. Let's have a look. Well, I've already mentioned We Are the Daleks. Novel adaptations too. I would definitely give it to The Well-Mannered War. That's definitely. Oh, I get the book. That's definitely one of the best Fourth Doctor stories. It's absolutely brilliant, and the book's brilliant. And the adaptation by, I think it was John Dorney. It's a marvelous story, and still they kept the cliffhanger. They may resolve it, they may not. I want them to not do it, but yeah, they probably will do it. But yeah, the cliffhanger from the book, it's actually in the audio, is a very interesting cliffhanger. Yeah, definitely, Well-Mannered War is one of the best ones. Jago and Lightfoot Series 10, I don't have Series 9, but I do have Series 10. I'd say that's a standout release as well. The stories were great. We have The Missing of a Gasogene, I believe Story 1 was, or something like a title of that. That was a pretty fun story. Not a bit standard, like a typical Jago and Lightfoot story. Not like, nothing too much. Maybe something similar to like Series 1, Series 2, really. Not really going rather sci-fi like Series 3 a little bit. So if you like Series 1 and Series 2, you will like the first story in Series 10 of Jago and Lightfoot. Then we have The Year of the Bat, which really reminds me of the Mahogany Murderers. It has like the same style of how they tell the story with this Yesterday box, and how Jonathan Morris plays with that is pretty clever. It is. As we look at Jago and Lightfoot like young, we do now, as like young adults, so that's pretty interesting. That was a good experimental story. Of course, Jonathan Morris always does experimental stories very well, so that works very well. Then we have, I think, my favourite from the set, The Morning After by James Goss. That was kind of a bleak story and sort of a sequel story to one of the stories in Series 2. And I won't go too much into that because it could spoil it. But yeah, The Morning After is a very good one with zombies, and that was a pretty good story. And then we have The Museum of Curiosities, and that's a great story. It ties up Series 10 and the whole Jago and Lightfoot series very well, as it feels like a celebration for 10 series of Jago and Lightfoot, as you have like loads of references left, right, and centre in Jago and Lightfoot Series 10 to all the other box sets, And pretty much the last story has got loads of references and moments in Jago and Life that's past with Series 9, 8, all the box sets, and that works very well. And then we have a nice cliffhanger. As I said, it's the brilliant Chumblies in Series 11, so that's going to be absolutely fantastic. No, it's not the Chumblies. No, the villain's absolutely brilliant, and Series 11 is going to work very well. So that was a standout. Series 10. Is there any others? Of course, only the Monstrous as well. That was a great one, but we'll cover that a bit later. Oh yeah, Dark Eyes 4 actually. I would say that was a standout for me as well. I would say it's quite a bit underrated set really. As not a lot of people say it's the best end of the series, but I thought Dark Eyes 4 was absolutely cracking. Yeah, definitely give that somewhere around a 9. I really appreciate that. I'll just get it. Has Life in the Day, which I think is a brilliant character piece, and this is where I really loved Liv Chenka's character and companion in this one with Martin as well. Really nice, interesting, and fun story, I find that. And then the Monster of Montmartre, which I find quite underrated. The Eighth Doctor really got into gear with this one, I would say. He was really pushed sideline away from the Life in the Day. It's mostly focused on Liv, but he had some fun stuff. Had some odd stuff in Monster of Montmartre with the time controller being married, and that was a bit weird. Then we have my favourite story out of the whole Dark Eye series with Master of the Daleks. I love the interactions with the Master and the time controller. That's just absolutely wonderful. That's my favourite story out of the Dark Eye series. Then we have the Eye of Darkness, which I wouldn't say is underwhelming. I'd say it's a good ending, but nothing groundbreaking. It doesn't have to end with a bang, and it doesn't have to be epic to conclude a series. It feels nice, it does, as in the start of Dark Eyes he had no hope, but here he finally does get his hope, and then it just moves into into Doom Coalition. So I think that works very well, because at the end of this box set he gets his hope. It's still got some nice twists in this one as well, with a certain character returning as well, but of course I'm not going to say anything on that. And yeah, it just ends it off really with the Daleks, the time controller, the Eminence. It ends it all really. I think it ends satisfying. It's an underrated set, I would say, Dark Eyes 4. I appreciate it. It's my second favourite set, obviously Dark Eyes being first, and Dark Eyes 2, and then Dark Eyes 3. I think that's it for me. Yeah, Return to Talos is one as well.
Okay.
Yeah, that's for me. Oh, an honourable mention, Triumph of Sutekh, because it's Gabriel. It's
Don't name everything. I need something to
Alright, I'm just going to shut up now. I'll just let Kai continue.
Right. So obviously, probably one of the biggest standouts of this year would have to be the Sixth Doctor, The Last Adventure. That was definitely a very standout release for 2015. Obviously, everyone really hyped this really up to be the Sixth Doctor's regeneration. Colin Baker's kind of denouement as the Sixth Doctor. Featuring a collection of stories set all over his timeline with various companions like Charlie Pollard, Flip Jackson, the new companion Constant before she joined the Doctor in Crisscross. It's just like a really you get a really kind of epic feel to this with all these elements from the Sixth Doctor's life coming together. So it does feel like a proper finale really, and obviously the return of Michael Jason as the Valeyard was hotly anticipated, particularly after the Trial of the Valeyard release. So yes, this was definitely a highlight of 2015, and I think this gave a satisfactory conclusion to Colin's era and just shows how Big Finish is really a testament to Colin, exactly how Big Finish made the Sixth Doctor a lot more relatable and a lot more of a more well-rounded character compared to his TV counterpart. So this just really is just a testament to Colin as a Doctor, done brilliantly here. I'd have to say another standout would have to be Damaged Goods. I'd say listen to this novel adaptation. It was absolutely brilliant story. You know, the original story by Russell T Davies was obviously great, and Jonathan Morris's adaptation was just really faithful and really faithful to the source material, but also really kind of engaging drama as well. And this really kind of fitted the kind of more adult nature of the Virginia Adventures a lot more, and that translated to audio really effectively, more so than I expected, to be honest. This production was just really well designed, the sound design, the acting, and just you can tell a lot of love was brought into this, and this is really where kind of the new elements of the new series license started to kind of filter through various minor references like to Torchwood and to the Time War. So this really kind of is a precursor to what would come later on with more new series features. So yeah, this was a really good contribution to the novel adaptations range here. And then, obviously, I'd have to say the Triumph of Sutekh, which featured the return of the amazing Gabriel Wolf as Sutekh, a villain so strong that he needs an entire box set devoted to him just to show how awesome he is. Obviously, this is also a testament to Lisa Bauman as Bernie Summerfield, who's a fantastic character in her own right. She's not just a companion for the Seventh Doctor; she's a strong-willed and well-developed character in her own right, and it's a testament to that. And the various settings through time and space, the various different stories that are told in this collection of adventures here, is just really well done. So I'd say this was definitely a highlight of 2015 for me, and just Gabriel Wolf on audio is just absolute gorgeousness. So this was definitely something to remember from 2015, definitely.
As I've been pretty picky with Big Finish this year, as I've been playing the catch-up game with a lot of the 1 to 50, 100 to 51 to 100. So yeah, I was very pick and choose with this, and I'm glad with my choices. Surprisingly, I was so surprised by this. It was the Well-Mannered War. Tom covered it perfectly, but it is the closest you can get to a 70s feeling story, and yet have it so new, it feels like it could be a blockbuster movie. It's the closest you can get to that. It's fantastic. Tom Baker is hilarious, and they take what would be quite a generic concept, humans versus aliens fighting over a planet, and they put a twist on it. And of course, it is really said in the first 5 minutes that I'm not really going to say, but it's got a little twist on it, and it really does have a gripping feel throughout. You know, Romana, she actually does stuff, which I was quite surprised about, and it's so cool because K9 is running for president. Like, how cool can you get that? So yeah, I was very, very pleased by that. And this was quite a strange one. It was actually, I'm actually just going to say, no, we're going to talk about it later, but the Innocent part of the War Doctor box set, my God, that is fantastic. That is, you got this character who is at the heart of the battle 24/7, and you put him in the quietest setting ever and made it like 10 times as gripping than the other two in the set. It was absolutely fab. It's got an excellent choice of characters. You actually feel connected to them within that 60 minutes, which they done superbly. I don't think I've actually felt that attached to a character so quickly. So yeah, that has been an absolute standout. I don't know if it's not exactly standout releases, but can I just please congratulate Big Finish for the amount of sales this year? Like, my collection has doubled from the amount of sales. They've put loads of great stuff on sale this year. So yeah, I've just got to congratulate them on that.
Yeah, there's been quite a lot of good stuff this year, as we would expect. But I'm going to start off with You Are the Doctor, the anthology release of 2015. I think I sort of want to say John Dorney, but he's not a release. But in general, John Dorney, I've got to say, has been a very clever man with the whole Red Lady concept and the whole first story of this, You Are the Doctor. The clues in the title, you are basically the Doctor. You decide what the Seventh Doctor does, and Ace follows you. The comedy in this, I like the comedy with John Coleshaw, with this sort of girl pig called Keith, and the way that's sort of done. The timing of that is brilliant. Come Die With Me, or Come Dine With Me, as I sort of normally call it and get mixed up with. It's a brilliant little half-hour story, and I would actually like that to be expanded on, because it's very much like The Master. That sort of villain trilogy story, which is brilliant. So I quite like that, because it's sort of got this sort of vibe, and the Seventh Doctor really does fit in the whole gothic houses area. He just suits that sort of setting in general. And the third story, that's quite a good story for the Seventh Doctor in a way. I need to re-listen to that to get a firm judgment, but it was okay. It's sort of the weakest, in my opinion, of the set. And then Dead to the World, really good story actually for Ace, and the way the story's told, it's good. Now Doom Coalition, not because it's stand out as in good, but as in stand out as in crap. Remember how hyped we were going, oh, this is a new saga for the Eighth Doctor, this is going to be brilliant. We thought after listening to 11, you're like, yeah, this is going to be great. You listen to the Red Lady, you thought, this is getting brilliant. Come to the Galileo trap.
Fuck
Mark
me.
that. He's on a real downer because he ripped Planet of the Rani, which is take it or leave it, and the Galileo trap is the same. After the Philip Hinchcliffe presents box set, you think, ooh, he's going to do good, but no. So, and then Satanic Mill, best not even go there because it just gives me a headache thinking about it. Because I remember James saying this before, if you're going to have this main villain like the 11, you want him to be in all 4 stories just to build him up. Whereas they didn't really take advantage of that and build up how crazy he is. I like the idea of the 11, but I think they should really build up on the character himself. Again, Sixth Doctor Last Adventure is a highlight, but the early adventures, I think what I've listened to them so far have been brilliant. The Yes Men by Simon Gurrier, probably the best early adventure they've done. Is superb. I mean, I'm listening to The Forsaken at this current moment in time, and I can easily picture that being aired in the 60s. It's just got a vibe, and just Ben as a character, because I don't think he was explored enough, because we had the introduction of Jamie, and that sort of took some of Ben's lines away. So Ben didn't get much development as a character, so it's nice to see that Big Finish building up on Ben as a character. And of course, we've got the Black Hole, which I'm yet to experience, and that seems quite a controversial audio, and sort of mixes up sort of the lore, what we've sort of known and loved in the war game. So it's sort of on tight. We're on very much on the edge of our seats for that to see whether it does muck up the war games because of the way it fits in. So I'm quite interested to listen to how Victoria sort of fits in with that. And we've got David Warner doing the narration. So that's exciting. So those are my standout releases of 2015.
Oh, Ben, I forgot to talk about the Yes Man.
Go on, talk about Troughton.
I forgot Troughton. How can I? Of course, this is, without a shadow of a doubt, the best early adventure so far. And it's Simon Gurrier, and somewhere it's said to be one of the, Simon Garrier's strongest script. And well, so far, yeah, that is the case for me. I think it's a wonderful and just a very steampunk story, as you can see by the cover as well, like cogs and gears and that. Like the Queen of Time, it looks like a little bit. Yeah, this is a tremendous story. It really reminds me of a first Doctor story and a second Doctor story, like put together. So I can really see the first Doctor, Ian, Barbara, and Susan working in this one quite well, and it just works just as well with the second Doctor, Ben, Polly, and Jamie. And Ben, who is voiced by Elliot Chapman, is a fantastic impersonator. One of the best for Big Finish. Some of the lines, it sounds identical to Ben from the TV series. It's absolutely incredible hearing it. And it's just an unbelievable story. If you want to pick up a really good story to get into like 60s Who, then the Yes Man, it's absolutely fantastic. One of my favourite releases of all time. It's like, I don't know which way to go, if it's the Yes Men or We're the Daleks. I don't know. I have to re-listen to them both and see which way I go, really. But the Yes Man, it's one of the best. It's good old second Doctor goodness, and you can't say no to that. I haven't listened to The Forsaken, Black Hole, and ISIS Network hasn't came out yet, but I'm interested in The Forsaken. I was hoping that one would be the best. I find it unlikely it will beat the Yes Man, but you never know. Justin Richard usually does good stories, and yeah, he does good ones like The Darkness of Glass. So I'm interested in The Forsaken. It seems to be a nice character piece for Ben as well, and not to expand his characters. That's going to be quite well. Black Hole, I don't know. Simon Gurrier, please, Ben. Black Hole, I just hope it doesn't muck everything up. It's season 6B. I'm not too fussed about that. That's fine, but I just don't want it to mess with the war games. Just don't mess everything up. Don't turn the second Doctor into a woman. Don't do that. I've heard that somewhere, and I hope that isn't true. But that would be horrible. Just do it good, Simon Gurrier, has all we can say. And the ISIS Network is 60s Cybermen. It's second Doctor goodness. You can't say no to that either. It's Nicholas Briggs, and he usually does good with the Cybermen and the Daleks, like sort of the Ryan Dark Eyes, only the Monstrous. So I think he should ace that. Unfortunately, it's being delayed because Cyberman voices, so it needs to tune them a bit or so, which is completely fine. it's better to improve them. So yeah, completely fine with it being delayed. It'll probably come out like early January, like January the 2nd or something like that. Actually, let's just have a check on the date. It will mostly come out on a Monday, so maybe the 4th of January or something like that. It will come out. But yeah, Early Adventures Season 2. I've been dying for it after Season 1. I thought it was great. All the Early Adventures I've listened to so far are absolutely great. With the Yes-Men being the best, and I hope Forsaken, hopefully the Black Hole, and the ISOS network. So hopefully they turn out all good. Yeah, Season 2, Early Adventures as a whole, I would say, is one of my favourite ranges.
Isn't the ISOS network going to be sort of a sequel to Last of the
Invasion.
Yes, because it's got like, I swear it was referenced in Last of the Cybermen. The whole
Yeah, it was referenced in the Cybermen. In Last of the Cybermen, they referenced the ISOS network. Yeah, they did.
It's sort of a sequel to that and the Invasion, which is very exciting.
Yeah, that's good. Don't bring Lanky, please.
Oh, if that's Lanky, it'll be the best audio since.
Oh, I've been ripped apart with the Black Hole, and now it's gonna piss me off even more with Lanky.
Oh, I gotta love Lanky, the Cyberman from Yorkshire.
An Alan Barnes creation.
Oh, brilliant. So, as 2015 draws to a close, you know, we've got some exciting things to look forward to in 2016, Big Finish wise. So, what releases are you most anticipating for 2016?
Well, that's easy for me. Jago and Life at Series 11, as I've said before. You know, I just love the range so much. It's so consistent. All the box sets so far I've listened to, Series 1, 2, 3, 4, Voyage Stories, and Series 10, and all the box sets and the stories have been fantastic. I love hearing Christopher Benjamin and Trevor Baxter on the audio. They do absolutely fantastic, and it's just going to keep going on. The series is just wonderful, it's consistent, and it's my favourite Big Finish range of all time. I'm just having a blast with it, and as I said, get them in order. It's a lot more beneficial. Again, you don't really need to. You can pick and choose if you want to, but if you were talking to me, I would disagree with you if you said that. Just get Mahogany Murderer. It's a fantastic pilot, and then get Series 1 and just go through a magnificent journey. And then you would probably your jaw would drop on the floor if you get Series 2, because that box set is a perfection in this. But yeah, Series 11, obvious reasons, is Jago and Lightfoot and a brilliant villain who's going to be in that. It's going to play very well. Other releases, they've been really intriguing, the monthly range stories. I'm interested in I forgot the second story in the monthly range, the February release.
Aquatine, is it?
Oh, Aquatine, yeah, that's it. By Simon Bernard and Paul Morris, who are brilliant writers. They did End of the Line, which I thought was a very creative and paradoxical sort of story. So that'd be interesting. I think that's their first story in the monthly range, so that's great. Another one, it's I was very excited to see this. It's from season 5. It's Cameron Scott and Mark Wright writing a 4th Doctor episode. That is just absolutely brilliant. That's the first time they're writing for the 4th Doctor. When I seen that, I thought, holy crap, that's probably going to be one of the best 4th Doctor stories. You know, they've done brilliant ones. Project Stories, Project Twilight.
There we go. We got the Project reference in there.
Yeah, you have another Project Twilight reference. It's a brilliant story. Just listen to it. Anyway, I haven't listened to Lazarus or Destiny, but they're probably good as well. Masters of Earth as well. Just get anything which has Cameron Scott and Mark Wright's name on it. So I'm looking forward to that. Of course, 10th Doctor Adventures. Of course, exciting. New series license. That's, of course, great. And novel adaptations, Nightshade. I really do like that book, so that'll be interesting going into Love and War, because it is essentially a prequel. In character-wise, it's a prequel. And yeah, of course, that'll go into Love and War very nicely. Original Sin, interesting villain, because I've read the book before. I know what villain's in it. It's interesting. I won't say what villain it is, but it will give you a shock when the audio happens or whenever you read the book. And mystery novel adaptation, that's been intriguing me for a while. They sort of hinted it at the panel for Big Finish Day 7, but I wasn't on the panel. I don't know what the hint was. But if my guess is, a lot of people guess Lumbarrow. Of course, it's popular, so I guess why people say that. It won't be adapted by Mark Platt because he doesn't want to do it. maybe Jonathan Morris, maybe, and that'd be great. But I think it's Sobal as Sin because we've had the introduction now, which is original Sin for Chris and Roz. Then we've had another one, which is Damaged Goods. Now I think maybe they might do it's actually Roz's final story or original Sobal Sin, so maybe they'll do that one. Or it could be Cold Fusion, which everyone thinks it is. But I think it's Sobal Sin, or maybe the Also people. It could be anything, really. Really don't know. But if I was to guess, it's Sobal Sin.
Oh, is it me now?
Yeah, it's you.
What are we talking about again?
The things we're looking forward to in the future.
Alright, again. Well, the most immediate thing I'm looking forward to is the Prisoner box set. This is Nick Briggs. Again, this is really Nick Briggs' baby. He's put a lot of heart and effort into it, being a fan of the series. And he probably says he's put a lot of there's lots of talent involved. There's Celia Imrie, Roman Tikram, and John Standing, Michael Cochran, who are really, really good actors. So it'd be interesting to see them play number 2. Number 2. And the actor playing number 6 does sound quite good from the extract I've heard. So I'm optimistic for this kind of reboot or reimagining rather of The Prisoner. I think Nick Briggs is really good at a safe pair of hands with The Prisoner. I think he'd do a good job there. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Infernal Devices with John Hurt. It'll be interesting to hear how John Hurt's portrayed by different writers other than Nicholas Briggs, who did a great job in Honey the Monstrous. Having different writers now write for him will be an interesting thing to see, definitely. In terms of beyond that, there's a possibility of my getting the 10th Doctor Adventures. I'm still umming and ahhing about that. So that's a possibility. I'll see how I get on. And for me personally, the release of Gallifrey Enemy Lines is hotly anticipated, especially after Gallifrey Intervention Earth. And obviously the success that Gallifrey has proven to be after about 6 series and 1 special, it's proven to be a very, very good range. So that's for the time being, that's most anticipated things for me in the future, and possibly the Classic Doctor's New Monsters as well, which would be an interesting series of stories I'd quite like to hear.
You finished, Guy?
Yeah.
Awesome. I want to say Doom Coalition 2. You have no idea how much I want to say Doom Coalition 2, but I'm not bothered. I'm really not bothered anymore. Like, not even the Vord can make me do it. Like, if it doesn't have Vord Cybermen, then Vord Cybermen. Like, if they don't have that, then what's the point?
Oh, he's gonna follow the comic.
Go on, let's have it.
I'm really looking forward to novel adaptations. It really has become one of my favourite ranges, because it's just excellent with every audio. Like, even people said The Highest Science was great. Besides The English Way of Death, that never happened. We won't say that ever happened. But yeah, really looking forward to what the novel adaptations will bring. I am going to say Lungbarrow because it's the only one you can do 3 discs with, really. I don't really say I can do 3 discs with Cold Fusion, and Lungbarrow's that massive, massive audio. And there's going to be lots of special features, people talking about that. Yeah. I know people say that he doesn't want to do it, but Russell T Davies didn't want to do Damaged Goods, so we might get another writer for it. So yeah, releases. And do you know what's actually quite intriguing me? It's this Davison trilogy at the start of the year with Aqua Teen and the Portaloo Massacre. I think that looks quite interesting because the covers are fab, and yeah, they look great. But 10th Doctor Adventures, I was speaking to Ben about this last night. Like, I'm really appreciating the 10th Doctor now. I'm not really sure if it's the quality of the show that it's in now, but I've been watching a lot of Rusty Davies, and I'm just like, that it was a quality show back then. Like, even though he wasn't the greatest during Series 3 and most of Series 4, David Tennant, he's a fab actor, and I know that Big Finish are going to do great with him. People said that they've really improved River Song, which that's an impossible task, and they've done the impossible. So if they can make River Song, they can do the 10th Doctor. So I'm actually really looking forward to the 10th Doctor, see what that brings, and of course the John Hurt box sets. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to how that expands, because I want to hear the universe getting ripped open. Like, I want to see how it compares to Batman March 8th Doctor Adventures Series 3, because that was excellent every time. So I really want to see what happens with John Hurt. And Only Monstrous actually made me love the War Doctor, and I hate the War Doctor. I hated him in the Day of the Doctor. Found him absolutely boring and disappointing, but I really, really love him in Only the Monstrous. It's like what they've done with Colin for most people. So yeah, John Hurt is the new Colin, we'll say.
Yeah, like James said, we had this great sort of conversation last night about nostalgia and how nostalgic we all got about figures and how the show sort of changed us. And I think that's the whole reason what the Tennant box set is drawing me in, is the sheer nostalgia, because that was the TARDIS team I remember, at primary school, and just looking forward to Saturday just to watch the new episode of Doctor Who, and the clips would be released throughout the week. So it's just nostalgia, that.
Those were the days when we looked forward to watching it.
Yeah, we looked forward to Doctor Who. What else? Obviously, the John Hurt box set, because I feel that Only the Monstrous is a very contained box set in one sort of setting, and I think Infernal Devices is where it's going to spread across the universe. So that'd be great to hear. And I'm sort of on the fence about the River Song box set. Maybe because of McGann, because I love McGann to bits, and hearing the positive reviews, so I am very much on the fence about River Song. The Churchill set, that does intrigue me because I think the trailer sounds brilliant, and it's going to be interesting how that is told. Obviously, it's Companion Chronicle style, so that'd be very exciting to see how Church that box set does, because apparently that's got another box set planned already, which seems very bizarre. Yeah, they've got so much faith in it. So I thought that'd be quite a weak-selling box set. But from the trailer and the sound of the synopsis of the stories, it does seem like a good story in general. And then Classic Doctor's New Monsters. That'd be exciting because we've got details for all 4 stories now, so that'll be a much-anticipated release in July. And maybe the second Doctor Companion Chronicles, because that seems like a good box set from what they've announced.
Yeah, that story, The Mouth of Stead, that sounds like a quite intriguing story.
Yeah, it does sound like a
it sounds very good
story. Yeah. And that sort of concludes my sort of things I'm looking forward to. So now we go on to the philosophical side, where we look at how we've changed over the past year. And I remember that we all set little targets of Big Finish stuff we were going to look at, and we're going to see whether we actually achieve those goals, and we're going to set some new targets. So, Tom?
Well, I'd say I have branched out because I'm sort of diving into the wonderful world of spin-offs now, the worlds of Doctor Who, and quite recently into the Jacob and Lightfoot range. Of course, consistent, brilliant. I've said it before, but one range which it just overwhelms me. It was that fantastic. It's brilliant reviews, and it's £16. So how can you say no to it? It's Davros, and it's just absolutely brilliant hearing it in Davros's younger life with Innocence, where he's like a young teenager with his family. It's just a really interesting story, and then how he just goes up and advances to this Davros we all know and love from the TV series. And it's just brilliant. My favourite from the set is definitely Purity. It focuses on the Thal and Khalid War quite a bit, and it's bleak storytelling, absolutely. A little bit more gritty, I would say, and it just works fantastic. So yeah, if you haven't got the Davros series, then pick it up, of course. So yeah, I'm going to go into the spin-offs, and I want to grow even more. Gallifrey is on my list. When I've completed Jacob and Lightfoot, I'll go on to the wonderful world of Gallifrey. I've got Intervention Earth, which I thought was a good story, but I know I'm not experiencing the cool stuff yet, the brilliant stuff of Series 1 and onwards to Series 6, so I'll get those after Series Jacob and Lightfoot, absolutely, so that's going to be absolutely wonderful. Gallifrey's intrigued me for a while. I just had the choice of Jacob and Lightfoot or Gallifrey at the start, but I went for Jacob and Lightfoot, but now Gallifrey will be having some love in 2016, so I'll be starting collecting that range as well. Other ranges, for a target, I want to expand on the Eighth Doctor adventures. I got them here, and I haven't got a lot. So the Eighth Doctor adventures only got a few from season 1, and then 2 from series 3, and then 1 from series 4. So I want to expand on them. I just don't have enough of them, and it hasn't really intrigued that well. I want to get some from season 4. There is one of them, an Ice Warrior 2-parter by Jonathan Morris.
Yeah, it's a good one. Very
I
good.
can't remember the names off by heart.
Demos, Resurrection of Mars.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we are. Yeah.
Intrigues me. That's Jonathan Morris, so I think that'd be great to get back into that range again. A Relative Dimensions by Mark Platt quite intrigues me to set in the TARDIS. That quite interests me quite a bit. The Dalek 2-parter, which goes into Dark Eyes, with Lucy Miller and Two of the Deaf, so yeah, that intrigues me. The Book of Kells, that intrigues me. Nevermore, which Ben really loves that Alan Barnes story.
Nevermore. Sorry.
Nevermore quite intrigues Nevermore quite intrigues me. So yeah, a lot of season 4 does intrigue me. That definitely seems like the best of the Eighth Doctor adventures. And another target, it's quite of an ambitious target, but I would like to complete the Companion Chronicles. That's definitely one I would like to do, but there's so many ones. I would like to complete the monthly range, but I think that'll take a while. But I would like to complete the Companion Chronicles maybe. I still think that takes a while. I've got about over 20 now, but yeah, it might take a while. But I love the Companion Chronicles. They're great. Definitely a favourite of mine is the Oliver Harper trilogy. It's wonderful. Home Truths as well, and The Mahogany Murderers. See, that's definitely my target. Maybe Companion Chronicles, Eighth Doctor Adventures. Definitely want to get more of them. Perhaps complete the range. Yeah, that's mine. And spin-offs as well. Want to get more into the spin-offs and complete Gallifrey.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Well, if I had a target, I'm buggered if I can remember it because I can't remember what my target was. I can't imagine it expanding to other ranges, because I think by that point I had expanded to quite a few spin-offs as well as other Big Finish ranges, so I think it's more just continue to do that. I think in terms of target, I think maybe actually get some new series stuff, because at the moment I don't have any new series stuff in mind that I want to get, so I think maybe I'm going to force myself to get some more new series stuff. I mean, also I've got the War Doctor box sets, and they're kind of staying in my mind as what I'm going to get, but maybe I'll push more to the side than the R side when it comes to getting the 10th Doctor box set or getting the Classic Doctor New Monsters. So yes, I can't really think of what targets I need to get, because I have kind of dipped into most Big Finish ranges, so I'm not really sure exactly what I can strive towards. So if someone can think of a target for me, because I'm really stumped to think of something that I can actually strive to do that I can achieve in a year's time. Not complete one of the ranges, because honestly I'm not a completist. I don't really collect them. I only buy them if I'm really interested in the story, so I'm not interested in completing a range. But can anyone think of anything? Because honestly I'm stumped to think of a target.
Nah, I'm not trying to think so.
More McGann. You can never have too much McGann.
You can never have too much McGann. But possibly maybe get some more Paul McGann audio. I don't actually have his Adventures with Lucy Miller, because I've heard most of them on the radio, so I think I don't really need to buy them because I've heard them already. But maybe get some more of the first 50, maybe get some more of the first 50 to 100.
Maybe
I would say dive, well, you don't have to get all of them, but dive in some of the Fourth Doctor Big Finish audios which intrigues you, like Requiem for the Rocket Man.
Yeah, I think maybe dip into more Fourth Doctor audios, because I have only a couple of Fourth Doctor.
Yeah, get a few or something like that.
So maybe get a couple more of them, actually, that might be an idea. Maybe eventually I've got the courage to arm myself for the Hinchcliffe Presents after that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely.
What are you saying, Ben? Sorry.
I would say, because you said that you wouldn't mind getting more of the first 3 Doctor audios, so more Companion Chronicles maybe?
Yeah, that's something I'm striving to do anyway. I'm picking up some more Companion Chronicles. I'm hoping for another sale, because then I really want to pick up some more Third Doctor audios, and I've got only a couple of, that's basically just get the first 3 Doctors, yeah. I'm also interested in maybe getting some of the other Doctors who, even though they do have full cast audios, have Companion Chronicles, because usually they're the ones that are the most kind of experimental. Like there's Perry and the Piscon Paradox, which features Colin Baker, and that's a really good Companion Chronicle story to listen to. There's Solitaire with Charlie, which is the 8th Doctor Companion Chronicle, and again that's a very experimental format there. So yeah, just expand on Companion Chronicles, get more Fourth Doctor stories and more, and maybe dip into the new series a bit more enthusiastically than I really am at the moment. Maybe they're my targets, really.
Very good. Another one thing that just developed then was Ben's thing on how Big Finish has changed us this year. Around this time last year, I had about 9 audios, and my collection has just expanded after that. I'm now hitting the late 50s in terms of how many. Not as impressive as you guys, but we all have to start somewhere, I guess. But I'm glad that I've really started to go into some of the different ranges. Like Kai got me addicted to Dorian Gray.
Yes.
That is a fab
I
range.
think
Like,
size.
Yeah.
the Series 1 and 2 box set is the best Big Finish value for money you can get, because there's some fab stories. Like, if I never listened to Ghost of Christmas Past, I would not have bought All Consuming Fire, because Nicholas Briggs is fantastic as Sherlock Holmes. And Alex Vantavalos, he is one of the best actors they have, and it's going to be quite sad to see him go, as in November he recorded his last one. Hopefully he'll come back in the future, but it's going to be quite sad listening to that.
Wait, don't say it.
It's getting all emotional.
In terms of Jesus, guy, in terms of exploring, all right, calm down now. In terms of exploring different ranges, I'm happy with myself for the moment, because I've explored the Eighth Doctor Adventures, I've explored the novel adaptations, which is fab, and I even got the bundle for the Sarah Jane audios, because they look absolutely fantastic, and that's a great value for money as well. Want to get into maybe a bit of Gallifrey. I know it's only 15 quid, or 16 quid, but I can't remember.
16.
Well, 15 for the first series, 50 for all first 3.
Oh.
I'm intrigued by them because the way Kai's talked about her, and of course building up all the way to the wonderful Juliet Landau. So you've got to do that. It's like the ladder up to heaven. But yeah, although my main thing for next year is complete main range McGann, because I recently got Storm Warning, so I feel I can do anything. So I'm going to strive to get main range McGann. I want to succeed in loving Crease of the Chromon, because it sounds absolutely mental.
No.
His bank account. Oh, some people have liked it.
Better. Natural History of Fear. That's better.
It is. And shows up.
Oh, it's just people have said it's just mental, and you have to love mental stuff in order to like it, and I love mental stuff, so I just want to try Creed of the Crown just to say that I've listened to it. And the Divergent arc, I want to see how disappointing that is as well. And of course, I need to get into more Charlie Pollard as well, because I'm really liking her characters and exploring her more. So yeah, complete main range McGann. Without Big Finish, McGann would not be one of my 3 favourite Doctors, because I have 3 Doctors at number 1, him, Sylve, and Tom. So I can't choose between them, and without Big Finish, I really wouldn't appreciate the fantastic stories that McGann has.
Wow, it's totes emotion. How's Big Finish changed me? Well, I've got to say, these guys have changed me, because I remember back in the day when I first started getting Big Finish, I was like, I'll only get the 8th Doctor audios. Look what's happened, I've started to get everything now, which is and since talking to, Kai, Tom, they said, oh, try this range out, so you try it out, and then you get addicted to it. So I've changed quite a bit, because I was quite narrow-minded. I'll only get Doctor Who, but I've started to broaden out now. Really enjoy it.
That's changed. Poorer now.
I know, I'm a lot poorer. I can't buy as much Doctor Who stuff because the spin-off stuff is happening. But yeah, I think that it's great that I've sort of expanded. Targets for me, I would like to get more Peter Davison audios, because I'm very low, and even listen to more Davison, which would be nice, because I haven't listened to many Davison audios. But my big target, I will gonna have to say complete the monthly range, because I'm almost there. So I think that would be sort of my goal, and obviously to continue branching out, trying off all these different ranges. Now that leads us on to our next little exciting thing. So Kai, take it away with your brilliant idea.
So yes, I had an idea to try and get us all to kind of branch off and expand on some ranges we might not have tried before. My idea was that we actually nominate each other to buy an audio, or if we have an audio, just to have it reviewed on our channel before the next audio comes out, before the next Big Finish fans come out. So in that case, if you don't have it, it's highly likely you have to buy it from Big Finish. If you do have it, it's just review it on your channel, upload it by the time the next Big Finish fans comes out. And that's basically the target of this little idea I had, just to kind of stimulate, get some more releases, mix up the bag a bit more so people can try different stuff, and also so other members of the Big Finish fans can also get second opinions on audios they might have already heard. So there. I managed a little idea here that's going to make everyone poor.
Yeah, because they're going to be even more poor. So I've got this number generator. I've got numbers down for people. So we could make people suffer by buying absolute crap, which is X-File, or review Necromantia, or whatever. Obviously, the price range, if we've got it, we can review it. If not, we have to buy it. So, the first person, Kai, you have got James. So you get to choose what James.
Oh, thank God.
James, what should I get you to buy?
Just please say Live 34, please say Live 34, please say Live 34.
He's not going to say it.
Sorry? Please say what?
Please say Live 34.
Just
Does that be good because he's the deciding factor? Because me and Tom don't like it. Matt likes it and you like it.
Yeah, he likes it a lot.
He's the deciding factor, James is.
That's definitely an idea, but it's not an idea I'm going to have because it's my choice. So, James. I think I'm going to select you to buy Dark Shadows: The House by the Sea, starring Colin Baker.
Your face is pretty weird right now. The reaction is good.
Look at James. God, I'd be really happy right now, James.
Yeah, I'm not going to sell you crap. Try Dark Shadows. If you like Dorian Gray, it's likely you like Dark Shadows.
It's Colin Baker for 70 minutes.
I'll put that link up for you.
Let's see.
There we are. Right, James, you have got me.
Fuck me, what don't you have? Jesus.
Make me review something. Make me review shit. I don't care.
I'm quite stuck here.
Go on.
I know what he wants to say. I
I have a feeling that you would say so.
What haven't you reviewed? That's the thing. What don't you have?
You can have it. It's just he hasn't reviewed it yet.
I'm just struggling to find out what it hasn't reviewed. I would say it's quite a cheap one. Just review Dorian Gray, This World Our Hell.
Okay.
Small, but sweet.
So I've got a drawing. So it's just me and Tom. Well, it's who's left? I'm trying to think. So
Tom.
Kai and
I
James.
haven't gone at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Tom.
Tom's picking for me.
Yeah. Tom. Oh, I've been picked because James has got me, so I
So
get.
who am I picking for?
Sorry, what?
Tom.
I
Right,
get really confused.
I'll pick one for Tom. And then
Okay,
that's.
So who am I picking for? You?
I don't.
Ben's
Oh,
picking for you.
I don't know who I'm picking for.
you're picking
Ben's
for Kai.
picking one for you, Tom, and then Tom, you're picking one for me.
Oh, right, alright.
The time flight. I'm making you review Necromantia.
Shit.
Yes.
Alright. I guess it's happening. We'll leave it here. To shine its glory.
Ah, there we are. I'm looking for that.
No, actually, I want to sort of change that to Bang Bang a Boom. I want to see you review Bang Bang a Boom.
Here.
It's too late you say Necromantia.
All right, Necromantia.
Oh, Batman and Boom would be interesting though. Alright, Necromantia. It doesn't matter. When is my deadline for it?
Not
It's
the
up.
next Big Finish fans, but next.
Yeah, it's the one afterwards. Yeah. So Tom, pick one for me.
Oh. Hmm.
Anything you like.
Hmm.
Oh, so you're going for something that you have.
No, I'm just looking at my shelf to help me. Hmm. God, this is tricky.
Dun, 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 dun. Come on, Tom.
Alright, I've got one in my head because I love it. I'll
Okay.
see your review on it anyway. I want you to review The Wonderful Mahogany Murderers.
Consider it done. Look, I've got that to have to fork out for it.
So we're pretty poor. Well, James has got to buy something, the rest of us don't, so. So there we are, that concludes it. We've got our little competition set to try and review some shiz.
It's going to be a very fun review.
I can't wait to hear what you think of Davison. You want to listen to more Davison? I've got that target sorted.
Oh, Necromantia right there.
I can't wait to hear what James thinks of House by the Sea.
He's not happy about that.
James looks upset.
No, I'm actually fine with that. I've been wanting to get into Dark Shadows.
Oh, I thought you were just like upset.
Oh, he's going to cry inside. I suppose that's our lovely hangout done for 2015, so we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time for a review of Only the Monstrous. How exciting is that?
Woohoo! John Hurst.
Yay.
Yeah, party time. More John Hurtner. So that concludes Big Finish fans for this year. Hope you guys have enjoyed this series, and thank you for people who viewed the Halloween one. That's been the most popular one, despite the technical glitches. And we'll see you on the other side for 2016. So have a good, happy New Year funness and get drunk. Have a good
Happy
time.
New Year. Go on, have alcohol. And listen to Necromantia.
Yeah.
Bye.
See you in
Bye.
2016.